Our 2.5 and 3-inch projector lineup have been great, but it's time for something a little smaller. Many of you are aware and have seen some of our projector lineup. We have 2.5 inch Bi-LED, we have a 3-inch Bi-LED, we have a 3-inch laser, and we have a 2.5-inch high beam. But on occasion, you do need something a little bit smaller, and that is where our new 2-inch Bi-LED projectors come in. Now, these still have a high and low function inside. They're very small, compact size, and the output is quite good. We do have output shots in this video, so definitely stay tuned for that, as well as lux meter readings compared to the 2.5 and the 3-inch. We do have another video that you can watch if you want to see the high beam and the laser projector lineup. So while these projectors are small, they do pack a punch. With a similar output to that of the 2.5-inch projector, they do quite well for having such a small optic. The projectors measure in at just 120 millimeters from the back of the shaft to the front of the lens, with 100 millimeter mounting depth, and as you can see, they do not take up a lot of room. They do have a built-in fan on the bottom, and the driver that comes with it is quite small, as you can see. Compared to the drivers for the 2.5-inch projectors, you can see just how small the 2-inch drivers are. Still has a power and ground. Blue is your power, brown is your ground, and then you have the high beam here. Black ground, red power. The lenses can be removed in the event that you do want to etch an lens, and there is room to add a demon eye, but we do not have brackets for these as there are no real mounting points for them. I guess theoretically you could maybe do it up around here, but you'll have to get a little bit creative if you want to use demon eyes with these projectors. These do run at 12 volts, pushing 32 watts to the LEDs, and 10 watts to run the solenoid for the high beam, totaling at 42 watts for the high beam itself. So you can see here we have the 2-inch measuring at about 716 on the low and right about 780 on the high beam, with a pretty nice pattern. There's a little bit of a bowl to the bottom of it, but that's part of the size of the lens that's the issue there. Moving over to the 2.5 inch here, comparatively you see about 930 on the low and about 950 on the high beam, with a little bit less of a bowl. And moving on to the 3-inch at 1386 for the low and 1616 on the high beam, with a very nice pattern, very even distribution of light. These do have the threaded shaft for easy mounting, as well as a silicone grommet and 3 adapters for mounting. We have a bracket for the 9005, 9006, one for the H7, and one for H4. Install is very simple. Just remove the back nut like so. Install a silicone grommet, insert it into your reflector housing. Then on the back side, choose your appropriate bracket, install in place, and all of these brackets do have a detent that will line up with the top of the projector to keep them straight. Once that is on, install the nut back in place and tighten it down. We do recommend adding some kind of a glue to the back side of this. Something like a JB Weld or similar epoxy will be ideal. Keeping in mind that these are 2-inch projectors, so standard 2.5-inch and 3-inch projector shrouds and centric rings will not fit on these projectors. But we do have 2 options. We have the Micro Gatlin and the Micro GTIR 2.0. Install is very simple. You will need to provide the screws, but we find that number 4 1/2-inch screws work quite well to secure these in place. There are 2 screws on the side of the projector that will hold the shroud to the projector. And as for halos, we do have 70 mil and 60 mil. Depending on the fitment that you want, either one may be the best option for you. The 60 mil fits quite well into the GTIR, and the 70 mil seems to be the best fit for the Micro Gat. And you can see a lineup here starting with our new 2-inch all the way up to our 3-inch laser projector. We've worked hard to have a broad selection of projectors to hopefully fit most applications. As you can see, they vary in size quite a bit, and as you can see in the output shots in this video and our other output shot video, which I'll link at the end of this one, you can also see just how much they compare. In most cases, these are actually going to be an upgrade from a stock reflector housing or an older car with a projector, and it only gets better the further up you go on the list. Obviously keeping in mind that our high beam projector is much more of a spotlight, not ideal for low beam use, and our laser projectors are a bit overkill, but if you want nothing but the best, we have that too. Thank you for checking out this video, and if you did find it helpful, or if this is the kind of thing that interests you, definitely check out our YouTube channel where we have tons of other videos, from tutorials, product videos, demos, installs, and much more. And for all of your LED lighting needs, be sure to check out nextlevelneo.com.